On this episode of Red Cape Sports, we're going to be going over my top 20 sports card investing tips for the absolute beginner. Welcome back, Mitchell Bouchard, right here in the studio, and we're excited to be bringing you this episode. This is all about getting the right card at the right time. We're going to be giving you all those tips, and if you're not a beginner investor, I'm sure it's fine. There's probably a couple things that you haven't been paying attention to, or a couple things that you can incorporate into your investing strategy. If you haven't already, I recommend subscribing to our channel and smashing the like button. This is going to help out our channel because we are producing 3 videos a week, and if you're a subscriber, you're gonna get access to it immediately. We haven't done a top investing tips episode in a while. I was going back in some of our archive videos, and I've noticed that a lot of people like the beginner investing tips. So I've been paying attention for the past 2-3 weeks, and I've been looking at my collection, looking at my investments, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be giving you my top 20 sports card investing tips. Let's get right to it. Investing tip number 1. You want to save money. You want to have cash. You got to think about money in your PayPal, money in the bank. Do you have access to credit? Do you have Bitcoin? Something that you can trade and sell with. This could be even having other cards that you can trade. You want to be able to have access and be liquid enough, because when the opportunity arises, you must be able to make a transaction. Without cash, or a minimal amount of cash in the bank or on hand, you're not going to be able to acquire the investment that you need. That's rule number 1. Make sure that you have enough cash. Start saving. If you don't save right now, my pro tip is that every time you get a paycheck, put $100-$200 into an account. If it's less, it's less. One pro tip I have for you, and I'm not kidding, I set up an investment bank account for my sports cards. So I've got a free online bank account. I even have a Visa debit, and this allows me to see what I have for sports card collecting and investing. Not only am I not overspending, but I know exactly what I have, and I'm able to allocate proper amounts of funds, and everything is organized. So maybe you want to do that. If you're living in Canada, I really recommend something like Tangerine, which is owned by Bank of Nova Scotia. So that could be a good option for you. Maybe even set up a separate bank account in PayPal. Trust me, this is going to work out for you. If you know that you are attached to something that isn't going to go anywhere, you may have to pick up the phone and break up with that person, or you have to eliminate other things in your life that is costing you money. You need to eliminate it from your life, and you need to take investing serious. I don't know what else to tell you. Number 2, research often. I don't know how many times we talk about this on this channel, but you want to do a lot of research. You can go on tsn.com. There are different apps. We have an episode that teaches you how to utilize an app to be up to date with different players and different things that are happening within the sports world. We have tons of free content. You can check out Sports Card Investor, PSA Collector, and take all this information and apply it into your world. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. But again, you want to make sure that you do enough research up front. We also have a sports card collecting and investing course. There you will learn the fundamentals of sports card investing and collecting. That could help you out as well. $10, come on. Number 3, make a plan and stick to it. This is going to be the most important aspect. It's kind of like your goals. You want to write this stuff down. If you don't know where you're headed, you're not going to get there. We've got an extensive video, how to invest in sports cards, step by step. This has changed a little bit. But again, in that episode, we teach you how to write down. We have a little chart where you can write down players, put in your investment strategy. That's what I recommend. If you get anything out of this video, just grab a sheet of paper, and even better, if you can grab your notes app, because it's going to be digital and it's going to go around with you, write down your top 5, top 10 investments. That's going to help you out a lot. So when you see it happening, you're going to know exactly what you're doing, and you're not going to go off track. You want to make sure that you stick to the plan. If you don't stick to the plan, you're going to see an investment. You're not going to be 100% dead set, sure on it, and you're just going to buy it. The FOMO is going to kick in, fear of missing out, and you're just going to be screwed. So make a plan and stick to it. Number 4, join some Facebook groups. We have one called Red Cape Sports. It's a private group. There you can post your best cards, But there are also other ones. I'm part of a Pokemon TCG one. I'm also part of several basketball collecting investing pages. It's going to get you closer to a bit of the community. You're going to be able to sell your investments, but also acquire things when you see them. It's a great option. You want to be careful online, of course, but if you're a beginner especially, this is going to be a great tip for you. Number 5 is going to be hiding your treasure. What do I mean by this? Well, you don't want everybody knowing where your investments are at, or even that you have it for the most part. It's not bad if you have a channel. Like for us, we like to display some cool stuff. I'm a huge Zion fan, and I don't want everybody knowing about where my cards are at, or even that I have some of them. So that's what I recommend to you. It's cool to show off your cards, but be aware, the more people you tell, the more chances you're gonna have of somebody taking it. You don't want that. So be very careful. Don't leave cards out in the open. I recommend, if you can, get a safe. That's gonna help out. Bolt that thing down. And if you can, maybe even put your cards at a bank, depending on how much you have and what you're working with. Just be careful who you're letting into your life. Do you really trust that person to know that you have these cards, and let alone where they're at? So if you're showing somebody your investments, make sure that you're careful. You don't want to lose your stuff. Number 6, be aware of FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. When something new comes out, you don't just have to buy it. For example, I get hit up all the time. Get this new quarterback. You got to get this player. This soccer guy, he's 12 years old. You need to invest in his cards. Guys, you can't invest in everything. Not only can you not invest in everything, but some investments just aren't good. You have to believe in your investment. If you don't understand it, stay away. I recommend taking the Warren Buffett approach, at least for this investment tip. You want to make sure that whenever an investment comes your way, you have to understand it before taking the swing, before spending the money. So now that you have money saved, and if you hopefully have that separate bank account and you have things organized, if a new product comes and you don't think that women's basketball is going to do well, which I personally don't know, you may not want to buy those boxes. But if Prism basketball comes out and people are buying, maybe you want to invest in that. So it's just this slight example. If you don't understand hockey, don't buy hockey cards. Just don't buy hockey cards. Look, if you can't throw a football 10 yards, don't buy any football. For me, I understand hockey. I played hockey. Baseball, I played. Basketball, I played for fun. So just make sure you understand your investment. There's nothing wrong with just walking away, and that's the hard part. So again, don't forget the FOMO. Number 7, you want to be patient on both ends of the spectrum. This is going to be the buying and the selling. When you buy sports cards, you're going to see a fluctuation going up and down. The price will go up when the player's playing. If he gets hurt, it's going to crash down. If they're performing well, it might go up. If they're performing bad, it's probably going to go down. If there's a lot of attention on the player, it's going to go up. Think about the Michael Jordan documentary effect. Having a plan up front is going to be huge. For example, I paid $40 or $50 for a Jaren Jackson Jr. card. It went up to $400. I 10x my investment. I got out. I told myself, if I was going to make a 5x profit, I gotta get out, and I made even better than that on that particular investment. Do I believe he is still a good investment today? Probably, but it doesn't matter anymore. You want to stick to your plan. It is going to be difficult when you look back on, I shouldn't have sold that card, but you can't do that. You have to remember, you're in here to make profits. So you want to make profits, don't lose money. If you lose money, you shouldn't even be doing this anyways. Go buy some stocks, just save money, and collect 0.007% from your local bank account. Number 8, you want to protect your cards. I don't care if you're into cards or not into cards, or if you have sealed wax, make sure the seal isn't broken. You need to take care of these things. If the condition is off, collectors will not buy your product, or they're going to pay you much less. Take care of your stuff. That's going to be the number one thing. Condition of the investment, that's very important. These are collectibles. You don't want to just take these cards and put it into your sock drawer. You want to put it into a separate shelf. You want to make sure you're in a cool area, etc. But just don't damage your stuff. Take care of it. Penny sleeve top loader. Don't need too much after that. Number 9, trust your intuition. This is going to be trusting your gut feeling. Your investment approach is going to be unique. I myself, I've seen things that maybe other people haven't seen, but there are also other investment opportunities that other people have seen, like my brother in football, that I just don't see, but I also don't care. You want to make sure that you stay in your lane. That's what I mean by this. If you understand something, that is gold. That's where you're going to make the profit. You know, if you're the Ray Dalio of investments, then he lives in his own world, and that's what's going to make him the profits. So just remember, you are unique. You can do this. If you are heavily into tennis, if you are, especially right now, into NASCAR, you may have a huge upper hand over somebody who's only been doing basketball. And for me, I stay in my own lane. I know, starting more to get into it, basketball, but I do know hockey really well, and I do know baseball. So those are going to be my top ones. Stay in your lane, and with all of those, really trust your gut. Trust your intuition. This is going to help you out a lot. So you'll have a better idea of when to buy, hold, and when to sell. Number 10, this is going to be easy on the chasing. I'm sure a lot of companies will probably hate me for saying this, but guys, easy on the packs. I mean, you can open up packs and try to pull cards, but buying the card individually or holding the sealed wax is going to be your best investment for the most part. Don't get me wrong, I get excited too. I've got sealed wax on my shelf, and I want to open it up almost every day. But you know, when I'm given packs, I'll open them. But when I'm making an investment, I don't open it. I don't think, what if? You have to be sure, and you have to believe in what you're doing. Don't open up all your products. You want to buy the card. If you know that there's a card, don't just buy all the boxes. You're going to lose money. You're way better off buying that card individually, because I'll tell you what, for the most part, especially if you're trying to get a rookie card, that card is hard to get. If you are looking for a super rare card, something of an RPA, numbered, they're in, you know, you'll have to open up 40, 50 boxes to get some of those elite cards. So my tip to you, if you are strictly into it as an investment standpoint, you want to not open your boxes and buy the card individually. That being said, if you enjoy opening cards, go ahead. That's what makes us fun. We have to open up packs at the end of the day. I do it as well, but keep it to a minimum. Tip number 11, you want to acquire rookie cards. And there are cool inserts if you're collecting them, but if you are investing into sports cards, I really recommend picking up that player's rookie card. For example, let's put up a Prism Luka Doncic card. These rookies are quite expensive. They're starting to go up in value, but there are other alternative rookie cards, especially now because companies are overprinting cards. That's another conversation. But if you want to pick up a Luka Doncic rookie, there are other ones. There are the Optic, there are the Donruss. Luka's got other rookie cards other than the Prism. He obviously has parallels, which go astronomically through the roof, but you could also, on the low end, pick up his Select, his Hoops, and these are going to run you much less of an investment up front, and they could grow as well. So that's one thing to think about. A lot of people are getting into second year cards, these insert cards that are way less valuable in my opinion. I'm not saying they're going to go down, but focus on the rookies. That's going to be my number one point. And if you can, understand that for basketball, for example, rookie Prism basketball is going to be your best move from an investment standpoint. Tip number 12, you want to know your sets. A lot like what I just talked about with basketball. Basketball goes well with Prism, Tops goes well with baseball, and hockey goes well with Upper Deck. That's going to be the Young Guns. So we'll have a couple examples here. We're going to do a basketball. That's going to be your Prism. That's what you're looking for the most part in terms of an investment. It's not the only one, but it's somewhat of a golden rule. For hockey, you're thinking Young Guns. And then for baseball, you're thinking Tops Chrome. And for other sports, there are different sets that go well with that sport that collectors are just looking for. Again, everything has been changing. There are more sets. I'm sure 4 or 5 years from now, everything's going to change. Maybe there'll be fewer sets or it'll be integrated in a way in which I can't even comprehend. But for the most part, think about the sets. Buy those cards. Tip number 13, you want to learn from your losses. Don't forget, losses are important. It gives you the opportunity to look back and understand where you made a mistake. If you invest in the wrong player, or like I did when I first started, I got the right players, but I wasn't buying the right sets. That's why we're bringing all these tips for you. You want to make sure that you really gain a superb amount of knowledge. This is going to help you out in the long run. Think about it this way. If you didn't have those losses, how would you learn and grow from it? When you have big losses and you make mistakes, you have this emotional attachment that is going to stick with you. So for me, I don't make the same mistakes again because I have this hurt deep down within. Hey, I made the wrong card investment. I didn't buy the right set. That hurts. So now when I go to buy cards from point A now to point 20, 30, I'm going to be able to make the right investment. Losses are going to be good. They're going to help you. As much as it hurts in the short term, in the long term, losses you can really grow from. If this is your first video or first year back into sports card collecting, investing, you're going to be making tons of mistakes. That's fine. That's how you adapt. That's how you learn to grow. When I think about Amazon Prime specifically, I watched an interview. Jeff Bezos literally lost hundreds of millions and billions of dollars trying to find out Amazon Prime. He had different names, different ideas, and they didn't work out. But that one win made up for all of his losses. So think about it that way. Even for myself, I bought some stupid cards in the past, but I'm not going to be doing the same mistake again, at least much less, and I'm going to have greater wins and fewer losses because of it. Tip number 14, you want to build a team. Think about the Chicago Bulls. Think about any good, successful company. Even if you're big or small, doesn't matter how you operate. If you and 3 of your friends are investing in the cards, you have access to each other and you can combine your brain power to make the right move. Everybody's going to have their own set of knowledge, subset, whatever you want to call it. Somebody's going to have more experience in a different sport. For example, Bird's got a wide range of football knowledge. He brings a lot more to the table in terms of investment than I do, but he can bring in different things that I don't know about. But I could also bring to attention other business aspects that he is unaware of. I watch a lot of CEO interviews. I have a different outlook than he does in some areas, and vice versa. You want to get access to other people and they need access to you as well. If you can work together, it will be very beneficial. If you're a young kid and if you do have parents and if you get along with them, talk to them. Maybe they want to invest as well. Tell them, hey, loan me $2,000, loan me $1,000, $100, whatever you can get. This is going to help you out. And you have to ask. You have to bring people onto your team. You have to sell them that vision. You just need a little bit of leadership and you need to have the courage within yourself. And trust me, it'll work out. If you believe in this, go at it. You want to build that team. Build a team as big as you can that makes sense and work with the people you want to work with. Tip number 15, you really have to think like a collector. When you are acquiring cards to resell them or, sealed wax, whatever it is, if you're picking a player, you have to understand that there is a true fan on the other side of that. That's who you're going to sell to. It's either that or a collector who wants that card, and they're probably going to be a fan. So if you can shift your perspective, think about what that collector would want, that'll help you out tremendously. Think about LeBron James. Think about the Lakers. Think about the yellow. First time in him in a Lakers uniform, those Prism cards have been doing quite well. And if you can get the yellow ones, a collector may want that. Tip number 16, you want to look at the eBay data. Now I know there are other websites such as ComC, StockX, other companies and places and markets where you can sell your cards and invest as well. But we're just going to focus here on eBay for a second. If you are brand new into sports card investing specifically, check out eBay. Type in the name of the card. Check out the sold listings. This is going to be a simple guide to show you how much your investment is worth. So before purchasing a card or selling the card, you want to know the value so that everything is fair and you know what's up. Number 17 is to think in the present. Also, along with this, maybe you could even think a little bit and project into the future. You want to make sure your mindset is not in the past. If your mindset is in the past, you're going to be thinking of bad thoughts. Make your adjustments in the moment. You are living right now. All the greats, especially in terms of an investment standpoint, they are living in the present. If something changes or happens, you want to be in the present. So if you're new to this as well, don't bring in past problems. Don't think, oh, what if? You are in the future now. Don't think about what if. Think about, if I don't, then what's going to happen? If you make a bad investment today, that's one thing. But if you don't make an investment, then 20, 30 years from now, you have nothing to show for it anyways. So you should be doing something. So you want to think about this, live in the present, think about the future, and that's going to help you out as well. Number 18 is to start now. Obviously, the market is hot. We've basically never seen the market as hot as it is now, but we don't know where it's headed. It could crash tomorrow. It could, go up and up and up. So you want to get in now, even if you are in it for the short term or long term, start now. Start making your investment now. Start writing down your strategy. Gather research, make your investment, start today. Tip number 19 is to inspect your cards wisely. And I can't tell you how much this has helped me out. I've had cards that I wasn't sure of. Maybe they won't send me enough photos. Make sure you could ask on the other end for that seller, if you're trying to acquire the cards, to send you more photos. You need more information. If the information isn't there, in terms of the condition of the card, or if there's things that you're weary about, don't make a move just yet. You want to make sure. So you want to inspect things. You want to take your time. If you're meeting somebody in person, take the card out, look at it. At least keep it in the penny sleeve, or be cautious, but don't just buy a card. Maybe they're selling it because the card's damaged. Whatever you do, you want to do it somewhat carefully. Oftentimes when you get hurt in investing, not just in sports cards, but in general, it's because people are just playing off of their emotions. They're just, oh, it's 2008 crash, let's take out all of our money. And they don't let it sit and do its work. You really want to make sure that you take your time, you're cautious, but also be wise, take your time. And our final tip, you want to make sure that you have, at least in my opinion, 10% long-term hold cards. What do I mean by that? 10%, you want to make sure that these cards aren't just brand new rookies. You want to make sure that you are protecting yourself at least a little bit. So what I've done in the past year or so, I was only into new rookie cards, which did well and I made good profit. However, I started moving a lot of that investment, about 20-25%, into LeBron James, into Kobe Bryant, into other long-term investments that I like. Another good tip, Shaquille O'Neal. Just think about legends like Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson's, in my opinion. If you have 100% of your investments into new players who haven't been established yet, if they haven't even made a bucket in basketball, maybe you need to reevaluate your investment strategy. So that's all we have for you on this installment of Red Cape Sports. I hope you enjoyed this. We have new videos 3 days a week, every Monday, every Thursday, every Saturday, and we're trying to add videos on top of that as well. Also, we would love for you to be a member on our Facebook group. That's going to be at Red Cape Sports. There you can post your best and favorite sports cards, ask questions, and we would love to see you there. Keep stacking, keep collecting, and keep investing those sports cards.